For today's cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
Woo! Oh. Woo! This full moon, I think some people was enjoying it, but for some of us, it was rough.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's rough.
This one was rougher than some of the others.
It's like, of course, I've had like sinus issue. I'm sure some may have noticed as far as my voice, I've been told. In my head, it sounds the same. But other people going, you've got a sinus thing. And it's like, do I?
Just take Yefferson or something.
And it's like, well, that's what I'm doing. I had a little touch of vertigo there a couple of days. And that was interesting. If you've never had vertigo, I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend it.
Who would?
Well,
that shit,
think about it. People,
that's like pulling a drunk and you got the spins but without the drunk.
Well, it's like people get on amusement park rides. So what's really the difference?
Listen, I about got sick on some of those.
Yes. Welcome to Vertigo. And I didn't even have to buy a ticket.
I'm on off this ride. I'm not even on.
But it's this horrible feeling of that when you're out of control of your body.
Yeah.
In any way. That's unnerving to me.
Right.
And I've got that going on in various and sundry forms. I don't know what I'm supposed to learn from this. I guess it's just a matter of to truly trust God even with that.
Yep.
But it's like the medicine, the meclizine, which I did talk to pharmacists about this stuff because he's a cool dude and he understands. He's dealt with me for many, many years. And I'm like, hey, I've got this going on. I'm going to take this, and this. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because I'm not stupid people. I don't usually do that type of stupid stuff. I read labels. I research. He knows that. I am nerd. Oh, God, I am so nerd.
Nah, you're just aware. People should read labels, though.
But it's been a very odd state of existence, and it's like, and fatigue. Worse fatigue. I mean, I've always got that, but it has just been cranked to 11.
I still feel tired.
You've got it too.
And now I'm dealing with frustration, just residual frustration, and it's coming out as I'm trying to do art, and it's pissing me off, and so I get more pissed off.
Well, and I think that may be sometimes those of us that are empathic. And intuitive and different things, like if you want to use the word psychic, I don't know what is words. We don't, some things you don't even have labels for. Sort of the barometer or the thermometer or whatever of the collective consciousness. There's a lot of frustration out there on every conceivable level right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that feel out of control. And it's like
they're living it too.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that for us, that's where we hold on to our faith. It truly is. For people who don't have that, I don't know what they do. But some of them ain't handling it too well.
No.
These are some of the ones that are dropping off the edge.
Yeah.
Which is kind of horrifying when you see news stories of people dropping off the edge.
Sometimes it feels like we're about to drop off the edge, but God's holding us tight.
Yep. I'm coffee slurping.
Speaking of weirdness, I just now experienced weirdness.
What did you just, as far as... he's disassembling things over there, and it's
her
like
scalp came off her own head, and then like her skull piece detached from the hair itself.
He's talking about he got a knockoff Blythe. We have to explain this because in today's world, you have to explain things.
Context matters. It's a bazak. They're about like $10 a piece. And Yeah, they're a knockoff Blythe, and this is the first time I'm ever owning one.
Was today the day that you drank the Monster?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And it's pretty much worn off by now.
Oh, no. No, it hasn't. No. And we found out today that his Mars is in Scorpio, and I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God.
If I really want it. But the thing about Scorpio, they tell you the truth. They tell you the
Mars,
truth.
And that's something we had listened to Stefan Burns, and he was talking about as far as energy from the sun, that it's hitting Mars and where it does not have the buffer of the magnetic field the same way that the Earth does, that's going to be changing that energy. And the energy of Mars, if you go back as far as the mythological creatures that the planets were named after, that gives you a basis of understanding the energy of those planets.
Yeah.
And Mars was the god of war. That's a lot of times, but what is weird is that you would think it would rule Aries. No, it rules Venus or something.
That's weird.
I think, let me check and make sure on that.
My Venus is in Aries.
Yeah. Let me go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Look at this. Just this. Like, her whole fucking hairpiece just came off, and she looked like she got...
It looks like a deodorant thing.
Right.
It does. It looks like deodorant with you.
It's just fucking like a roll-on deodorant or stick deodorant. That's disturbing. That's so weird.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
anyhow within
an odd
this
design.
Mars is the god of war, and so if you've got whatever your planet is that's in Mars, that's sort of with anger triggers and stuff like that, that can give you a basis of understanding of self.
Yeah,
that's how I use this stuff. And now mine's in Libra, because of course it is. And where there is no apparent sense of justice right now, that bothers me badly.
Yeah, that's Scorpio right now. That Mars in Scorpio. I'm about to bite my own tongue off.
So
biting it so hard.
He was talking about as far as the energy hitting Mars and it releasing somewhere around July 2nd through the 5th or something like that.
It's like, oh, great.
And that's where, if you know that you have a tendency to say things that are biting or stinging or anything like that, you might want to really kind of watch yourself on that.
Lord, keep it guarded in our mouths.
Because words, once it's out there, it's out there. You can't take them back. And some of them you can apologize and stuff, but it's still been said.
Very much.
And it's like Kid and I were talking earlier about as far as internet and people posting things on the internet. And once it's there forever.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just it's a visual representation of what already is. You know, and like I said, I'm so grateful the internet was not a thing when I was young.
Yeah. Kind of wish, sometimes I do wish internet was not a thing now, but it does help.
It does. I mean, it's a tool.
Yeah.
Like anything else, it's a tool.
And what do people do? The people sometimes abuse tools.
Well, what happens when you give small children hammers? Bad things usually happen.
What happens if you give unstable adults hammers?
True. And this is random. This is Neurospicy ramblings.
ADHD Neurospicy.
It is. And a Kid and I were also talking about how other Neurospicy people, they pick up on the same vibe.
Yeah. They're able to follow along.
Yeah, they can follow along, because with ADHD, a lot of times you will think that you have said part of a sentence and you'll start mid-sentence, And then you'll switch directions, and it's just bobbing and weaving. And for other people that are the normies, they find that very confusing.
Yeah. Do you remember that one driver that I had for IOP with the red hair?
Yes.
She had ADHD too, and she was talking about something, and she was quoting some dude that she knew, and it was like, because he had ADHD too, and it was like, what kind, or something like, he would just ask off the wall questions, be like, what kind of tree would you be?
Yeah.
And then her and I got onto another topic, but then I, like a few sentences later, after we already got that off that topic, I was like, what tree would I be? I would probably be a weeping willow. And she was like, I get it. She followed along. Yeah. Right along with me. Just.
Well, you're Pisces, so yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
But it was that ADHD brainwave type thing.
And maybe that is. Maybe it is a vibrational difference also. I mean, because what are brain waves?
Vibration.
Thoughts. Yeah. Right. Everything is vibration and frequency. And it's all Newton's cradle. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is.
And so it is hard. It is hard for the normies, I think, to follow neurospicy people. Uh-huh. And
it is. Normies look at us like we're weirdos and freaks.
Yeah. Well, they don't get it. And this is where it's a matter of commonality and empathy and understanding and all that good stuff. And compassion.
Yeah. Yeah. People need compassion.
Those of us with the neurospicy, everything is harder. It really is. It's harder. This is not sitting there bitching and whining and moaning. It's just that it is.
Yeah.
And to have to explain, this is one of the things when you get people that are neurotypical. Well, why do you do that? Why do you have to do that? Why can't you do it like this? Because I fucking can't.
Right. It's like, let me do what I'm fucking doing.
I have to make it work for me.
Yes.
And so
life is an individual thing.
Sure. But it's amazing how much judgment people have towards other people, not just for brain differences, but for everything. Oh. And it's just insane. And on some of this, we blame the internet, and I know that has, is an added feature. But I don't know that people would not be doing the same thing, only slightly differently, without the internet.
I mean, they've already been doing that.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, before internet came along, those same people were still doing the same shit that they do online. Same shit, same text, different font.
Mm-hmm. Just not in as much of a public arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it has just been, like I said, incredible. It will be interesting to see with this Mars thing. I did post on X, and if I remember, I'll put the link in the description box of this video for Stefan Barnes, the video that he did today, because I'm really, the nerd in me was very happy, or is very happy listening to him.
Nerd!
Because he's got about the science, the solar storms, and as far as him making the connections with other planetary alignments, then he's getting into this research as far as the Schumann resonances and all that, and it's just like, it's wondrous for me.
Yeah.
It truly is. It makes sense to me. Because we have all these unseen forces and factors in our lives.
Well, you've always been able to see shit like that other people couldn't.
Yeah. And that's my life of frustration, to sit there and go, wow, you know what, this goes here. And it's like gaslighting.
It's like, no shit. No shit.
I mean, even when I was a kid in elementary school, to look at the globe and go, this is like puzzle pieces. All this goes together. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it did. Pangea was a thing.
Yeah.
So that...
You could look at it and tell that it was all one landmass at one point.
Yes. And I'll tell you something.
And there's pieces missing because they're submerged in water now.
What was wrong with these adults?
Submerged.
What was wrong with these adults that they somehow felt threatened by a child?
You know, that is always like a golden question. It's like, what? Because I think they feel... When they, as an adult, they think they should know everything. Or should know a lot of stuff.
Only an idiot thinks they know everything.
When a child proves that their intellect is higher than the adult becomes hostile.
Yes. And why is that?
And then they tend to beat that child down in some way.
Mm-hmm. I had hellish experiences. And it's just one of those, I would like to at some point to have a non-hellish experience. I really would. But there would have been nothing wrong with the teacher looking at the globe again and going, you know what, you're right. Mm-hmm. They do. Because it's right there. It's not hard.
No, it's not hard.
And it's like, do people blind themselves? And we know that pride and ego and all that stuff, it's interesting because people throw this word ego around without truly understanding what it means, which it's just a sense of self-identity. It's who we believe ourselves to be. And that came from Freudian psychology. You had the id, ego, and superego. And Freud was a very, very strange man.
Very, very.
Yeah. And so as far as, you've got to die to sense of self. No, you don't. We've seen what happens when someone loses sense of self. Deal with somebody who has dissociative identity disorder sometimes. It's interesting.
Deal with someone that has been like on drugs for a certain amount of time, for an extended amount of time. They have and that's the thing. Some of these people that are doing like acid or whatever, they're like talking about these experiences, the ego death. Do you know how many times I have heard about them be like, oh, it's the ego death?
That's just words that they're spouting out.
So you've lost your sense of self.
Right.
You've lost yourself and now you're having to rebuild it.
Right. Right. And that can be a scary thing because each individual who is on this planet has chosen to come here.
Yeah.
Somewhere there was a contract. And that it is to go through this experience. At this time, it's not accident. There is no random with that. But to find out who they are, even as far as with the astrology chart, to sit there and go, okay, you've got challenges, you've got strengths. Let's see how we can make the best out of what you've got. Mm-hmm. But as far as
when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah, I mean, to have that, to be the best you, because that's a precious gift.
Yeah, it is.
And that people, like I said, you've got a lot of people. If somebody's out there trying to tell somebody else that they're doing whatever wrong, and we're not talking about even as far as, let me tell you, I was talking to therapists the other day about people when they are drunk or using, because I go to her with like clinical supervision is basically what it is at this point. Always has been. You cannot make sense to a drunk. You do not try to talk sense to a drunk.
No.
Now, you can't, this is hardcore old school AA logic and reasoning with this.
Right.
And most of us are hard asses because we lived.
Yes.
And the hard ass understands that we saw people who didn't. Mm-hmm. And that stays with us.
Yeah.
It's always one of those, what if I, which there's not because that's individual choice. these people had somebody they could have called that would have been there. Sorry. And within that, the decision comes, there is a conscious decision. Oh, I'm going to drink, or I'm going to use drugs. The other decision is, or I'm going to do something differently. I'm going to call sponsor. Even if sponsor's going to go, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, but sometimes you need to be told, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, snap out of it.
Yeah. Cher, Moonstruck, smack.
Yeah.
Snap out of it.
And you can talk to somebody, and I can't tell you the times that I have dealt with people, the pain, regret, remorse, you name it, afterwards. The ones that lived through it.
Yeah.
But during that process of when they are no longer in control of their mind, that substance is in control of their mind, they're not really them.
No.
And I swear to you that I thoroughly believe some of these things are forms of possession, especially meth.
Oh,
we've seen it.
I'm fully agreeing on that.
I think it's like a demonic spirit.
They turn into a whole person that's, if sober, they are not.
The things that they would never have done.
Yeah.
But as far as that is, the time for talking is not then. And it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
I've had some dangerous jobs, and I didn't think about it at the time. It was one of those that you just did. You just went. It was your job, and you just went and did.
Yeah.
Because you cared about the people. But as far as making judgments and this ego death and stuff like that, and somebody sitting there going, oh, you got to die to self. Do they really know what the hell they're talking about?
No, they don't. And ego death is not necessarily good.
No, it's not
good.
It's not. Because they're lost.
Literally.
But to sit there and go, I am a beloved child of the Most High God. I was created with purpose. I've got a job here to do on this planet. Whatever that job is, let's see what I've got. What was I sitting down here with in my toolbox?
Yeah.
That's how I use astrology. And that you've got other people that you trust, that other people will be brought into your life to help you learn how to use other tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to sit there and berate somebody or spew something, I have heard so much bullshit. This guru stuff. I've got it all figured out, and you have no clue. And
let me tell you, that guru shit is bullshit. 99%. You don't taste that? That shit coming out of your mouth.
Let me tell you what my response to the people that think that they're that damned enlightened, which is, why the hell don't you go ahead and ascend and leave the rest of us down here schlepping along?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If somebody thinks it's their job to sit there and berate somebody else, no, they ain't got their shit together.
No. Nope. They don't got their shit together whatsoever. Most of the time, the people who are telling other people to get their shit together, they don't got their shit together.
And what is so scary, we do have that sheep and herd mentality.
Blind leading the blind.
It is.
Sheep leading the sheep, and guess what happens when the sheep follow the other sheep?
They fall in the ditch. They fall over the cliff. Is what it is.
Yeah,
it's incredible because with sheep, if there's a cliff, the ones that are there on the front line and they see the cliff, they'll stop, but the forward momentum and motion of the ones behind push the other ones over.
Yeah.
This is why I do not like to be part of a herd of anything.
No. It's a dangerous thing to be part of a herd like that.
Right. And it is a matter of teaching somebody to think for themselves. To find their path, give them the tools that they need, without sitting there going, oh, you doing it wrong. If you ain't doing it like I'm doing it, you doing it wrong. How do you know?
Right.
You're not God.
You're right. Right. I mean, it's just like these are our own paths. Who's, other than God, who's to say what we are doing right and what we're doing wrong?
Right. But you've got so many people wanting someone to tell them what to do. And we all have moments like that. We do. That we just wish that somebody, and I can't tell you how many times I have prayed, it's like, God, I'm a little bit on the the short bus here. In the back seat, like licking the window.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yeah, I mean, not even 5.
Retarded child.
That's it. It's like, I need a neon sign. Do this. Don't do this.
Yes.
Because with the Neurospicy, I can think of 15,000 things, and it's very cluttered up there.
Yeah. Yeah. All the possibilities hitting you at once.
Yeah. And so it's a matter of which one is the right one. And it's where it's hard sometimes to be patient and to wait.
Oh, God.
And that is one of the main things when you're following the path that we have chosen, that Kid and I have chosen. It is a matter of God's timing, not ours.
Yeah.
This petulant child, I want what I want and I want it now. No, that don't work with God.
No.
No more than it would with any parent who is a proper parent.
God's timing, not ours. Thy will be done.
Mm-hmm. And that's, as you mature, that is one of the things that you find out that is, other than saying thank you, that even if we don't understand, to give thanks. Mm-hmm. Even if the situation is horrific, to trust that He will bring good out of it, and to thank Him. And other than that, to sit there and go, Thy will be done.
Yeah.
Now, we pray for other people. Lots.
We do.
Now,
we just did earlier.
We are a praying group of people, because that's part of our belief system, but that's also part of Appalachian culture.
It is. It is.
And that is something, and I'll tell you something. There's people out there in California that they think that they all the shit and that the world revolves around. What is it with that place?
I have no idea. There is some sort of
spirit. There's got to be some kind of spirit out there.
Yeah. There's some sort of magic over that entire place. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
And it's black
there.
Magic. It is not, and we're not talking everybody that lives in California, but certain areas.
Like,
and anybody
people that were a completely different way, they just change, and not for the better most of the time over there in California.
Yeah. And that they somehow feel that they have the right to tell the rest of the nation what to do and what not to do.
Right. And it's like, you can't even go out there and raise your own garden. You can't go out there and do whatever. What the fuck? You can't go out there without seeing homeless. Work on y'all's own people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you something. When you're telling someone else there's a difference between explaining how to do something and showing how to do something, rather than demanding that you do something. Because if you do that, that leads to resentment.
Yes, and they're going to rebel even harder.
Well, they're just going to stop listening.
Yeah.
At this point, there are so many people in the rest of the United States, which is a huge place.
Yeah.
Huge. But they act like only California exists, they being like the news cycles and stuff like that are New York. Well, guess what? The rest of us that are not in those areas don't give a shit what these people in California and New York doing.
Yeah. Nobody gives a fuck.
We've seen it. And we don't want none of it. Yeah. Neurospicy.
Neurospicy.
And a lot of times we will tell you what's on our mind. And it's like, this is why I pray, God, please put a guard at my mouth. Because I know me.
You
and me
both. You and me both.
Yeah, a kid found out that that Mars in Scorpio. And I'm like, oh, baby. Oh, God love you. That means you're going to have to pray extra hard for the rest of your life.
I do my best. My best. And sometimes it just... Oh.
And it's okay, because your heart, you've got a good heart. But that's where you got to realize... Don't
when those words come into my head, when those thoughts being like, I want to say this so bad, I question. I genuinely do question.
But that's not a bad thing. It's like, is this who I want to be? Because words, you can't take it back. I get it.
You do have to lay it out, or else they're just going to walk on you.
It depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
And it depends on the individual. That's where it can layer upon layer upon layer. Yeah, but
it's a struggle.
It is a struggle. We wouldn't put here. We obviously didn't hit the easy button, honey.
We already done all the other game modes at this point, and so we're. Oh God, we're video game completionists. And so now we're on fucking extra hard mode.
Yeah, I think so. Getting ready for the boss battle. It's what it feels like.
I don't do well in those extra hard modes though, in those games most of the time.
I think on some of it, it's just a matter of showing up and trying and being willing.
Yeah.
But do not let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. And that little Pisces heart would have to sit there and live with regret and remorse for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no.
But knowledge is power. Now that you know that can help you make better choices. That was confirmation right there.
It's true. It's
God
true.
speaking. Final thoughts.
Oh, Lord, keep back. Do what Beetlejuice did to that one woman. Please, just put a metal plate on my mouth.
No, you don't want that. He's not going to do that. It's a matter of choice. It's a matter of you learning to control you. Everybody's job every single day.
Do you know how many people online are running their mouths right now? And more than likely in the future, they're going to look back on that and be like, oh, God, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Like, a lot of people are already doing that.
That is one of the reasons on a lot of this stuff I do not engage. I don't. I still have a very select few. It's a matter of words of encouragement, kindness, compassion, empathy. I'll ask some random weird questions a lot of times. It's because I don't understand stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like... But that is my choice to limit that because I don't follow the herd.
Right.
I don't do well in the herd.
Yeah, no.
So, was that your final thoughts?
Lord Jesus, help. Help. Help.
We are in a spiritual battle. There's people that are not, have no belief system, whatever, that they're hardcore, staunch atheists, that even they are understanding that something's going on.
Uh-huh.
And those hardcore, staunch atheists, they have a belief system. They just don't recognize it. In their eyes, they are God.
But yeah.
Are they qualified?
No.
Well, I mean, that's up to them. That is up to them. But you have more zealotry amongst some of these people that are atheists than a lot of people that are faith-based.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different faiths out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are angry because that they have, you've got a lot of religious trauma that people were not good representatives of Christ.
Yeah. And those people are going to answer for that too. Doing harm in Jesus' name. That's not... You don't do that shit.
And one of the things we're warned over and over and over, judge not lest you be judged.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyhow, some of us were, like I said, those he forgives much, love him much. I know where I've been. I know what I've done. Thank God that internet was not a thing.
Yeah.
So if I can pick somebody up, encourage them, make them laugh, smile, make their world just a little bit better, even for a moment, I've done my job. Kid and I are here for comic relief. We've come to that conclusion.
Ooga booga booga, you got us.
Yeah. So, if you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural, now that sinus mess is messing with me. Paranormal, supernatural.
Okay. I'm the thing that's messing with me right now is the fact that this doll's head looks like a stick of deodorant.
It does look like a stick of deodorant. Hey, you know what? You could take some of those things and maybe make some, be creative.
I already told you that I'm possibly going to sculpt a brain and put it in this. Its head is big enough.
Well, I mean, deodorant dolls. Be creative. Be creative.
You know what?
What people used to...
People in the 50s, actually
those
50s, 60s,
things.
and 70s, a lot of cosmetics and just overall hygiene products had some very creative packaging.
But I mean,
that was like
also,
the lipstick flowers. Those were cool.
Some people would take the packaging and repurpose it. Now, I never understood the crochet cozies for Kleenex boxes and stuff like that. That's very bizarre to me.
That's like with troll dolls. They took the hair out and then put a cactus there.
I could kind of sort of see that maybe, but I'm like, no. Let the troll doll be like it's supposed to be. Like it was designed to be.
They put some sort of succulent there. I'm
very representative of a troll doll at this point in life.
Are you?
I am. I've told you I've got that in the highway. I have put it up beside. It's like oh, damn, Mama really does look like a troll doll. Anyhow, if you've had experiences paranormal, supernatural,
I mean, troll dolls are cute though. So what's wrong with them?
And
they're back. They're back in Walmart.
He's not going. This is that Monster Energy drink. It's not out of his system. Paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, temple hats, Neurospicy, tales of terror. You can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and it's there in the description box somewhere.
Yeah, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Check her out on BitChute and Rumble at Orlando's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Orlando, COCWS. It's like a radio station call sign. All it is Orlando's Cup of Coffee with Scream, abbreviated.
Yeah, that's it.
She follows some really cool people on there, so
I do.
So go check her out.
So, know that you are loved. Be the best version of you that you were designed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and treat other people the way that you would like to be treated.
Yep.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cut.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.